Oh, guys, what's going on? Welcome into the stream. And happy Saturday. Hopefully, you guys are having a strong start to your Saturday. I am fired up, ready to roll, ready to jump into a bunch of college football plays. We have a strong slate of NHL and some NBA. So, a lot going on, a lot to dive into. Not really sure, really quite where to start this whole thing off. But I'm just pulling up an extra tool here right now. Let's go over and take a look at the Sharp Money tool first for some DFS. One of the things that I've been really leaning on and moving forward to as I play DFS is looking into the Sharp Money tool. And actually, in terms of a straight wager bet, I just bet this Gustav Forsling over 1.5 shots, looking at the Panthers and the Sharks. Let me refresh this really quick. Yeah, someone put down $3,500. They want this at minus 122. So we could play this on a 3-pick entry on 3 different DFS apps right now. Really 4. Dabble, PrizePicks, Underdog, and Better. All we can play 3-man entries at minus 122 per play with no insurance on those 3-pick slips. So when you're seeing this play, remember, obviously if you played a 5-pick entry on PrizePicks or a 6-man entry on Underdog, you would receive better odds than what this person wants it at. But there's a lot of money here, and people want this at minus 121, minus 122. I am more than fine or more than happy to put this on a 3-man slip. So just over here onto the side, I'm just going to go ahead and fire up a PrizePicks slip because we're looking at PrizePicks first. And I'm going to go after this Forsling play. So we're looking at his over 1.5 shots on goal. He's a defenseman for the Panthers. Damien, I should say. 49ers, what's going on, guys? Good morning to you both. So Forsling's the first play. Again, you could play this on DraftKings, Pick 6, right? A lot of different platforms that you could fire this up at. Let's see what else. Looks like I don't have any more PrizePicks down here, but let's see if somebody wants George. Normally, guys, for me with the NBA, I mean, even with the NBA, it's a little too early because a lot of the first game's not until 7 o'clock Eastern tonight. So it's a little early to kind of go after some NBA plays. But all right, let's take a look at the optimizer and see what we have. Let's look at some 3-pick slips. Udi's got the boost today, Andrew. What's going on? Good to hear that. Irish took a butt whooping. Morning, Matt. Down 18. Yeah, that's a tough one. I had my first losing day of the month was yesterday. I know that in the Dub Club we lost 2 units, 2.5, maybe it was 2.5 units. Because I like to keep it transparent with you guys. So had our first, it was bigger losing day on Dub Club, losing about 2 to 2.5 units. And so, yeah, I mean, it can be like that. Obviously, if you're not arbitrage betting every day, as pretty much everyone in here in the chat knows, that's going to happen sometimes. Losing days are a part. It's not, it's just the way that it is. And we just got to make sure that those winning days are bigger than those losing days. Looking to try to fill out the rest of this 2 other picks for this 3-pick entry over here on PrizePicks. And when I'm looking at this board at the moment, I don't really like what I see. There's, I don't want to mess around with fantasy scores, so I just ignore those. And while this looks good to Pinnacle, this is not great to FanDuel. And again, guys, anything that's NBA related, I'm looking to wait until a little bit later this afternoon when some injury news kind of starts to drop initially. So one thing that I'm more than happy, though, to share is I like this Forsling play a lot. And I did bet him over at Bet 105, over 1.5 shots on goal. He plays for defense for the Panthers. So I'm just going to go ahead and we're going to fire up 2 other plays courtesy of the Larry model. Which is JuiceBet's Discord, guys. And I'm just going to take some of their recommendations and throw that in here. And then I'll go ahead and share that slip with you guys here momentarily. Ooh, I got a $10 protected play. That's nice to see. All right. All right, so there's going to be no insurance here on this 3-pick entry. And here we go. I'll share this with you guys. This is a modified slip from the JuiceBets Discord and the Sharp Money tool over at OddsJam. Oh, your name is Dan? All right. Good to know, Dan. We got a Damian. I know we have a Damian in here as well. Might have more than one Damian, and then we have a Dan. So no problem. I appreciate you letting me know. Yeah, I've been calling you Dan for a long time, so I figured if it was wrong, maybe you would already corrected me. So not much else at the moment. Obviously, this board is going to change here on the optimizer because there's going to be some different things happening. And this is going to be the general vibe for myself today, guys, in terms of while there are some NBA games going on later, it's just too early in the day for me to really start attacking them. Underdog. Yeah, a little too early just in general. Way too many fantasy scores. I don't care about your fantasy scores. So let's remove fantasy scores and see what we have. Forsling over? Oh, dude. I screwed it up again. Dude, thank you, Andrew. I appreciate that, bro. I'm going to cancel this slip real quick. Dude. This has happened too many times. Let me just double check my work here because that's very important. All right, so we want that. Yeah, okay, cool. And I appreciate you letting me know about that. The one thing that I've noticed, guys, with the Sharp Money tool, at least when it comes to playing DFS, it seems to be that you can, you have a little bit more time. You have a little bit more time when it comes to putting some slips together. There we go. All right. Let's run this back. And let's try this one again. Perfect. User 73958 says, I had a rough one yesterday too. It will happen. Big shout out to Andrew. Rick, what's going on, man? Settings for the Sharp Money tool, Rick. I'll share that with you here right now. Dr. Slips, yo, Ken, good morning to you. So for at the moment, I'm just really focused on the DFS book. So I just have the DFS book selected. I'm looking for liquidity of 750 or higher, meaning that's the Sharp Money that I want to see. I don't have any pinnacle limits at the moment. I'm just looking at player props for today. So it's pretty basic. So most of these for the NHL and the NBA, Pinnacles has a $250 limit. So you could put that as $250. But I'm just we're going to jump into the rec books here in a second, but just going through our normal, schedule of DFS. I guess one thing I also wanted to ask you guys, this is a poll. I want to ask a poll question here because I haven't asked this before. When it comes to the routine, and for the OGs and DGens, they know the kind of the routine of this stream. I would love to hear from you guys. There's a pretty much a similar kind of routine with this stream, which is we start off, the stream looking at DFS, and we kind of then work our way around to others. Then we go to arbitrage, and then we kind of end the bulk of the stream with positive EV. And I've never asked this question, but I'm just curious because I want to make sure I'm providing the best type of stream for the regulars that are here all the time. If you would prefer a different order or mix it up, definitely want to hear that from you guys, right? I always want to touch on all the tools at OddsJam, or as many as I can, though I do neglect like the low holds tool quite a bit. So when we're not seeing maybe many things that I'm really liking, like this Jeremy Grant play looks incredible to Pinnacle. To FanDuel, it's fine for a 6-man entry. For a 3-man entry, it doesn't look very good to FanDuel. But one other thing that we can use here is on this more tools, we can come over here to the low holds page, right? And we can come over here and say, we're on pick 6, but let's say, what about underdog? What about 3 or 5 pick entries? Do we see any super low holds? Like we talked about Jeremy Grant. This looks to be a really good play. But some of these other ones like Jackson Lacombe, there's only $134 on no vig. And then nobody else really has it like that. So significant strikes in the UFC. Here we go. Denise Gomes, the over here. This looks to be very good. I would definitely take the over on Gomes. I would imagine that Alex uses this from time to time, but I want to make sure I give the low holds page some love as well. When I see this, like with Cole Caulfield here, guys, there's only $433. If there was like $4,300, then I'm like, okay, then I want to go after, I actually made me want to definitely go beyond this over 2.5. So, but just want to hear from you guys, how you prefer it. It's pretty much the same. If you guys are like me, I'm a creature of habit. I like routine. And so, it's kind of nice to know when you tune in to the stream, if you know that you're 20 minutes behind, you're like, Billy's probably just wrapping up DFS right now, right? So I like to keep it kind of, but if you guys want to see chaos or just a completely different order, then feel free to let me know in the chat or DM me, email me, if you have some other thoughts or ideas. Because at the end of the day, it's one to make sure that everyone here in the stream and definitely in the chat is receiving the most value when they're tuning in. You're spending your hard-earned time. You could be spending time anywhere else. Want to make sure you're getting value for what you're actually watching. Better 3-man entries. Yeah, I'm not betting college player props. If you want to bet college player props, please feel free to do so. We have some UFC fights maybe this afternoon, which I've kind of neglected, but we'll definitely take a look at that here in the stream. A lot to get to. Trying to just move as quickly and efficiently as we can. This under on Champagny, I could get down with this. Pennies at 8.5, minus 128. FanDuel's at minus 130. So it's okay. Appreciate that, Chris. Rick says, with EV changing, I would like a little more time on the EV plays, but I do realize the DFS plays disappear. Thanks, Irish. Appreciate that, Trent. What's going on, Trent? Sorry. Yeah, I mean, that's basically how it is. Now, essentially, because I'm back in Arizona and because I have access to better underdog PrizePicks parlay play and Epic. I just don't use Epic. I use Epic from time to time, not as much on the streams. There's a little bit more time devoted, at least early in the streams, to the to DFS. But things do bump very quickly. And that's another reason why. A couple reasons, guys, on the stream I don't play a ton of 5-pick slips is because it would literally take me more time to type in all the plays and put the slip together. And then if it bumps, then I'm like sitting there. So that's another reason why I don't play a lot of long shot, like 6-leg lottos. Remember those from the DFS AI slip generator? I don't build as many of those on the stream because I try to keep things very time sensitive for everyone. I don't really have the energy to stream 2 hours. And I don't think I have the oxygen in my lungs to go that long. So that's why I don't build as many longer ones, guys. It's more just for the sake of time. 3-mans are perfect. We can kind of rip through them. No big deal. Boston College. This is 8 cents off the Pinnacle. This is for football. It's okay. No opinion here on Bet Online. I'm sure they have an alt line here. What else do we have? Let's take a look at Pick 6 over on DraftKings. We'll look at Dabble, and then we'll kind of move on. So let's look at some leagues. We'll start with the NHL to see if we have anything at all for 3 picks. Svechnikov, yeah, not really. Forsling, we talked about this. But again, the reason I like Forsling, so here's like a great example. This is a perfect example with Forsling. Why where the sharp money tool comes into factor compared to the optimizer? If I was just solely looking at the optimizer, I would say, looking at Gustav Forsling, I'd say, yeah, I'm not really interested. It's only 3 cents off the Pinnacle. But when I can come over to the sharp money tool and I could see like, yo, Pinnacle's only taking $250, and 2 people on Novig Profit X, they have what, $6,000? Over $6,000 they want on this over. That now changes my opinion. So this is another reason, guys, while myself personally, I'm migrating a little bit more over to the sharp money tool for just DFS, for kind of everything, right? Because now I can see the money here. I can see like, oh, someone's very bullish on this over 1.5, right? And if I'm a professional sports bettor early in the morning trying to get my bets down, like in my opinion, guys, this isn't some rando that's just like a degen that has a lot of money that likes to bet maybe on the Panthers, right? And he's a big Forsling fan. This is, in my opinion, like some sharp bettors that are trying to get their liquidity and their money in early and trying to get these orders filled, right? They know this game doesn't start until 10 o'clock Eastern tonight. They're trying to get this money down now. So I believe these are sharps over here at at there over at No Vig and Profit X. But this is another reason why I can't really trust the optimizer that much, because I just have no vision, no insight into where the money is. And it's pretty important. Can we refresh this so I can get the NBA? Did I screw this up? Probably screwed it up. There we go. Let's click apply. NBA, a little different story with the NBA, but we haven't had anything happen yet. But pick six, Brandon Ingram, this looks really good. So I'll log in over here on DraftKings. We did hit so both better entries, guys, that I gave out yesterday, they move on to Sunday. We took a play with Randall on his discount. That hit. Baker Mayfield, we're waiting for him on Sunday. And then the other one was Rico Dowdle boosted. So the both slips I shared with you guys on Better yesterday, they are looking very solid. And then I'm pretty sure we did hit on a 3-pick entry on pick 6 yesterday as well. Let me see. Yeah, we hit on this Randall. I took the Randall free square. So not sure if you guys... We hit this one yesterday, which was nice. Porzingis under, Hawkes over, Randall over on the stat slice. And that worked out well for us. We got some boosted NBA entries. So obviously we want to take advantage of that. College football boosted plays. I'm just not the right guy to be doing the boosted plays when it comes to college football player props. It's not my cup of tea. All right, we're going to go Ingram over. How about Advita? Advita over. Yeah, I like grabbing overs on Denny. Okay. Let's grab him over 29.5. We got to go. What's his points and rebounds? Fine by me. And then what's the next play? I'm going to grab Mitchell over. I like grabbing the superstars. It's going to be a 3-pick entry, guys. Donovan Mitchell over 35.5 PRA. Boost this bad boy up. And I'll share this with you guys. Here we go. So this is the all overs slip today. There we go. Last night there was what? 1,400 on the Penguins money line on the sharp money tool. Dang, Rick. Dang. Appreciate that, Rick. Ramo, you want to look at NFL pick 6? Yeah, I mean, Ramo, we'll take a quick peek, brother. I know you're a loyal supporter. You're here all the time. But normally for NFL player props, I'm waiting until actual Sunday. But here it is. Here's your board. Today's a big college football day, so we're going to be focused heavily on college football. But yeah, I appreciate that, Mitch. Yeah, for a lot, no doubt about that. That can be the case. And I appreciate all the input, guys, opinions. I take it all into consideration. Try to keep it moving as quickly as we can. So let's go over the sharp money tool. And I would say, Ramo, if you want to put a slip together right now, I'd take the over on Shucks rushing yards. I would take the over on Rodgers passing yards. And I would take... Bijan, I take his over on his rushing and receiving yards. So I'd go Rodgers, all overs. Rodgers over passing yards, Shuck over rushing yards, Bijan over rushing and receiving yards. That would be the 3 picks that I would go with over there. All right, let's take a look at, let's just select all the books. And let's go with $1,000 for the sharp money tool. And what do we have? Yeah, Ramo. Let me go through some sharp money plays here for everyone, and then we can go back to dabble. I want to make sure I give you some love for the NFL pick 6. I'm not going to, it's more reserved for premium members. And that's another great point to make. And I'll go back and make sure I show that for you, brother. But if you guys want to steer the stream in a certain direction, that's where, like Rick, like Chris, like Dan, like Irish, like 49ers Faithful, like so many here, if you want to steer the stream in a certain direction, becoming a premium member over on my YouTube channel for either $1.99 a month or $4.99 a month, that's where I will literally go wherever you tell me to go, right? Within reason. So that's where if you go over on the YouTube homepage under memberships, you join the family. I'm more than happy then to really go above and beyond to accommodate. Ramo, you've been here on the streams for a very long time, brother. So I want to make sure I give you some love. But, I know you've been in on here long enough, but for $2 a month, then I'll be more than happy to look for where you want to go consistently. And that's just a general for anyone, not trying to pick on Ramo there at all. But just so you guys know. Miro Heiskanen. So this is a great example. Somebody's got $4,700 that they're offering you the under on Heiskanen on his shots on goal, Stars Predators tonight. We could get the over. This person wants it at plus 134 odds. We can get the over on either DraftKings or Hard Rock at a great price. You can go over to ESPN Bet, Caesars, or Bally Bet. I'm going to go over to Bet 105, right? So, and this is, let me kind of pause for another second here, guys. This is another reason why signing up with Bet 105, I think, is going to be incredible for you guys. Again, if you use code BillyC, your first deposit of $100, you're going to receive a $50 bonus bet. It's a 1x rollover. I'm okay sacrificing 5-cent odds, right? This game starts actually in about 4 hours or so. But, the DraftKings, the ESPNs, the Bally Bets, the Caesars, this is still a little far in terms of a game when puck drops. I don't want to get limited because I'm betting on an over here 4 hours away. But on Bet 105, it's a sharp book. They copy Pinnacle's odds. So you're not going to get limited over on a Bet 105, right? Like you will with ESPN Bet, where they'll limit you to pennies. So this is a big reason, guys, why I'm literally on Bet 105 right now. I'm going to go bet this because I can get this at plus 131 odds. It's only 4 cents off the DraftKings. I'm totally fine with taking that price, and I'm not going to get limited. So this is a great option so that it saves my rec books for other plays. And so it just adds more longevity, guys, when it comes to it. It is a global sports book, offshore. So obviously, you're going to have to be comfortable with most likely crypto. But we're going on Heiskanen over one. And, I have a $200 limit right now on Bet 105. And I'm probably going to go in over here for the max because I really like it. Now, I will say this, guys. I will pause. Once I bet this on Bet 105, the price will change. It'll probably drop to like a plus 129, maybe plus 128. So I'll give this about 5 seconds. What's going on, Saints fan? What's going on, brother? Appreciate you, Joey. Appreciate that, man. Just business, baby. All right, here we go. I just bet Heiskanen, and so I'm going to grab this right now. Again, Bet Tracker guys over here at OddsJam's absolutely free. And so with the Sharp Money tool, the idea behind this, and I just moved it to plus 127. So if we scroll down, you can see right now, guys, at the moment, it says plus 131. When this page refreshes, it's going to say plus 127 because Billy Boy just made a bet and moved the market on Bet 105 by 4 cents. Kind of a brag, kind of not, though. So if we do a refresh and we look at Heiskanen, you guys can see it's now at plus 127 when it was at plus 135. So something that I do talk about with Dub Club guys, I don't bet my picks until after I send out the card. So for those of you that are with Dub Club, I try my best to make sure that I send the card out first before I actually bet what I want to bet, because I know that in the case of Bet 105, if I give that as a recommendation, it's going to move the line, right? I don't move too many lines, but I do with bookmakers sometimes, and then Bet 105 at times. Depends on the market. All right, what else we got here? For pick six, we talked about Forsling. Nathan MacKinnon, under 3.5 shots on goal. To be honest, I hate betting unders on MacKinnon, especially when the Avs and the Oilers get together. This could be an 8-9 goal game easily. But obviously, if we're looking at the Sharp Money tool, two different people have a combined $3,300. They want his under 3.5 at plus 107, plus 108 odds. You can get this at plus 115 on Kambi. You can get this at DraftKings at a fine price at plus 105. Props Builder at plus 105. I will take, a sprinkle. I could bet this at Bet 105. I'll go over to Props Builder and give this a little sprinkle. I don't really like betting unders on Nathan MacKinnon. He fires the biscuit, Guy can score goals. He's just so lethal scoring. I prefer being on his overs more than his unders. But, there's a world out there where he can just finish with 3. So even though I don't really like this bet, I will give it a small little sprinkle. And I'm talking I'm going to put $50 on this. Now, again, you could go over and get a much better price over Ballybet or Bet Rivers, right? I'm going to take a worse price over here at Props Builder. And the biggest reason is because these guys want this at plus 107, plus 108. So I'm okay getting this at plus 105. It's slightly worse. Again, with the sharp money tool, guys, the idea here is some of these plays on the tool are actually positive EV. Some of them aren't positive EV, but they might be positive EV to these people that are posting this liquidity because they have a model that tells them, yo, bet Nathan McKinnon at least plus 107, if not a higher odds range, plus 110, plus 115. So they're more than happy than getting this at plus 107, plus 108, because it just kind of really blends in with the rest of the market, right, on this under. All right, so there's the McKinnon play. John Carlson. Again, as you guys can notice here, Pinnacle's limit's 250. We're taking plays that are at least a 3x multiplier, if not higher, of Pinnacle's limit. And in this case, this is 7x multiplier, right? So what's Pinnacle's limit? I don't want to bet a play that's at $400 when Pinnacle's at $250. I want to bet plays that are at $1,800. Or if in this case, this guy's got $1,500 on John Carlson over on DraftKings. Again, this guy wants it at minus 148. You can get a same price at DraftKings. You could bet this at ESPN or Hard Rock or Props Builder or Bovada. So I'm on Bovada. I'm on Bet Online right now on their Props Builder. So I'm just going to go ahead. Capitals Lightning, and I'm just going to go ahead and bet John Carlson, defenseman for the Caps, over. And I'm fine with that. And I like this a little bit more. So I'll go in for a 150 spot here to make $100. This is how I like to use the sharp money tool. And thus far, it's been a really good time. All right, so before we look at we got a lot of things that we could be spending some time with over here on this. I definitely am going to go back over the optimizer, take a look at Dabble, because I did forget to look at Dabble, and I normally always look at Dabble. So for anyone that's out there using Dabble, and if we're looking at some 3-pick slips, Dabble's pretty simple in my opinion for myself. Normally, it's the one DFS book that I just love betting. Love betting. So Matheson, Chris, yeah, I would say so. Any lottos today, Mitch? Yeah, we're going to probably put together a lotto. Yeah, Dan, so the only thing here is I just need to export my bets and then just look at the ROI and the sharp money tool. That's the only thing I haven't looked at yet. So I need to, I've just forgotten to do so. So for my Dabble folks, I would definitely take Jovic. I hate betting unders on Giddy, but it's very good at Pinnacle. And again, for myself personally, guys, it's too early for me to be placing any NBA player props. Just like to wait until this early afternoon to get a little bit more of an idea of what's going on. But Davion Mitchell, yeah, I'm all right with this. So I'm all right with these first 3 plays. Also okay with Grayson Allen. So definitely these first 3 plays. Jovic under points, rebounds. Giddy under PRA. Mitchell under points. Grayson Allen under on his rebounds. These first 4 plays. If you're watching this right now, I would screenshot this on your phone because I'm about to leave in 5 seconds. So either screenshot this or remember those plays out loud. But those would be my top 4 plays over on Dabble. No doubt about that. Let's take a look at, so I haven't really got with the sharp money tool just quite yet. One thing that I definitely want to focus on, guys, before we kind of forget, it is Saturday. It is college football. So we want to look at some main markets right before, and I'm looking for some line movement. So I guess we can come back over the sharp money tool for sure. And what I can do is just come over to main markets and say yo, dude, give me I don't know, 10,000. Give me a Pinnacle limit of at least here. Do we have anything at all? Is my limit too high? We got 2 right here. Okay. So this is on 4CX. This is an exchange where I live here in Arizona. But someone has $9,500 on Connecticut plus 8.5 versus Duke. And this is more than Pinnacle's limit. Now, to be fair, another sharp book that I love to reference, guys, is right here, Bookmaker. Now, Bookmaker has the same odds as Pinnacle. The only thing that gives me concern is that Bookmaker, normally on game day, Bookmaker will take sometimes 2, if not 3x more money than Pinnacle does. So it's something that I think often gets lost. I've been trying to harp on it a little bit more this football season. And it's going to be for college sports guys with Bookmaker. College basketball, college football, they just take more money. So if we look at this plus 8.5, if I'm pulling this up off to the side on Bookmaker, Bookmaker's taking $22,000 on Connecticut plus 8.5. They have this line at minus 111. I'm not saying that this person does not know what's going on. I would just say, like, damn. Minus 107 is okay. I trust Bookmaker's line a little bit more. If I look at Virginia versus Wake Forest, minus 6.5 is a nice side to be on. Someone's got $4,200. But again, when I come over here, and the reason, guys, that I don't buy into this is like I just buy into the sports book that has the largest liquidity, the highest limits, right? So if I'm looking at Virginia minus 6.5 over on Bookmaker, Pinnacle's taking $5,000. Bookmaker's taking $22,000. Bookmaker is taking over 4 times the amount of money that Pinnacle is taking on this spread. And just so you guys know that I'm not blowing smoke up your ass, right here, Virginia, minus 6.5. They just dropped it to $21,800. So this is why I use Bookmaker as my sharp for college football, because I can't trust this number with Pinnacle. It's only $5,000. It's not enough money. Let's go over to the main market tool. So now that we know that, right? Not that we didn't know that, but for those of you that are new, check it out. So if you find any of these tips insightful, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Helps me out a lot. Let's look at like some minus 200s, as always. We'll take this up to plus 200s. Let's take this up, and away. And we're just going to focus on college football at the moment. Now, normally I don't like to bet mainline markets day of the game, but I'm specifically looking for some movement. So let's make this a high number. Can we grab 5%? Let's look at the 12 plays that are offering 5%. The under on UCLA and Nebraska. A little higher here, plus 220 odds. But this is plus 172 on Bookmaker. ESPN bet this looks really good. This is slight. If you have FanDuel, it's slightly okay. Bookmaker's kind of chilling down here. ESPN bet did move, but I don't think that ESPN's all that sharp. Again, a little bit more. You only have a 33.5% chance of hitting this. This is a little bit further out. Iowa on the money line on Fliff. This is an ARB to Bookmaker, guys. Iowa versus Oregon. If you have Fliff, plus what? Plus 215 odds? What's Bookmaker taking on this? I'm just curious. Pinnacle's taking 5 Gs on Iowa money line. Yeah, they're taking $10,000. They're taking twice the amount of money that Pinnacle's taking. So, yeah, we're going to go there. So, if you guys want, if you have Fliff, this looks really good. It's an ARB to Bookmaker, and they're taking twice the amount of money that Pinnacle is. I'd bet Iowa money line. I would put a unit on the play for Iowa money line. Speaking of some other plays, if you guys have Profit X, I don't need to deep dive these plays. On the Texas Tech minus 14, there's only $445. That's not even close to what Bookmaker's taking or Pinnacle. The under on Iowa and Oregon, I'm in on that, under 41. Temple against Army. Probably don't feel great about this one. Did I already bet this? I can't remember if I did or I didn't. Yeah, I bet the under 40.5. Okay. I could bet the under 40 again. Not going to do it. Doesn't really matter to me because this is just a push. Okay. So just some different notes here, guys, when we're looking at some different plays. If you see any of the exchanges with have liquidity under $1,000, smash it. Good play. Oregon State minus 21.5 on no vig. Profit X, the under on Oregon, Iowa. Again, if you have your choice, I'd rather go under 41 than under 40 or under 40.5. Get that extra point. Think of like a 24-17 type game. Under 41's a push. Under 40.5, it's a loss. So just little things to think about. Okay. Now let's drop this down to like a 3%. Let's tighten up our odds range a little bit. Let's go like to a plus 130. And let's go to 3%. Okay. This Temple play, I don't know how I feel about the Temple play because Pinnacle's taking $20,000, and I would have to imagine that this is probably what Bookmaker is taking. There are some cases here where Bookmaker and Pinnacle are taking roughly the same amount of money. And again, this is where I highly recommend you guys to sign up for a Bookmaker account. You don't have to deposit any crypto or money on there. You can then just get access to looking at their odds. It doesn't sound like talking to the developers at OddsJam that we're going to be able to get Bookmakers liquidity on the site anytime soon. So I would highly just recommend signing up for them. Yeah, so Bookmakers taking $20,000 on Temple plus 5.5. Pinnacle's taking the same. So they're both taking the same amount. You could see, though, they're both moving. They're both moving in the same exact direction, which you like to see from sharp books. Here's Pinnacle's movement. Here's Bookmaker's movement. The difference between those two books is that these two books, their models are just, slightly off. They see the price slightly different. But I would have extreme confidence in picking off a rec book if I saw that it was really egregious, because you're seeing very similar movement other than Bookmaker dropping off a cliff but then retreating back. So there we go. Ken McKinnon, $3.15 limit on Bally's. Yeah, that's a tough one. Ken, I never got to ask you, but do you have any access to any exchanges? Do you have access to any kind of ProfitX or NoVig or for me, like a 4CX or anything like that? Dr. Slip, there's going to be one book with similar lines because it's a peer-to-peer site. I guess to answer the question, the only thing comparable might be other exchanges, but there's no guarantee for Bill. So it says, so Bill was asking earlier, yeah, Rick, I definitely place bets on the Sharp tool. No doubt about that. Any value for UFC Vegas 49ers? Yeah, let's take a look at that as well. Again, one of my favorite books to look for UFC. And we'll come back to look for some more college football. But again, it's kind of perks. 49ers Faithful. If you're a channel member here, guys, that's kind of where you get those perks. Let's look at some main markets for at the moment. Let's just clear out this. Let's take this up to like a 175. And we're looking at, let's go to BetOnline. I love using BetOnline. We got 14 results today. What do we have? A lot of 4CX. Down here, though, if you don't have 4CX, I can understand. Bueno Silva, plus 3.5 point spreads. To be honest, guys, point spreads, this market does not carry a lot of liquidity. But obviously, this is a very good play to BetOnline, which I'm a big fan of BetOnline. And same thing here, guys. Sign up with BetOnline. You do not have to play any kind, you don't have to deposit any kind of money at all. And so if I'm looking at this play between Silva, where's she at? This might be, UFC Vegas. There we go. So on this play today, if I'm looking at the point spread over here on BetOnline, we're looking at Silva. They're taking, if I bet her at minus 200 on BetOnline, they're taking $1,000. So just be careful with this, but you can go bet this over on DraftKings for sure. Any of these plays that you see here on NoVig, these are low liquidity, $100, $236. Not going to talk about Randy Brown because it's $5 on Bet Openly. Bet these over at NoVig. I have a lot of confidence. On Sport Trade, even for this dude on the money line, I wish I kind of had some money in Sport Trade right now. This is available on AZ. This is a legal exchange out here for us. This will always be around. I would grab this. But that's at the moment the main markets. If we jumped into alt markets, really only adds one other thing. There's only one other play that comes up here. Euros Medic minus 3.5. It's a good play to bet online. They're moving in the same direction, but just a little off. So if you wanted to put this Medic play together with Bueno Silva on the point spreads, I'm fine with that. It's a little juicy, but I'm cool with it. Yeah, this is a little bit too low for me. So at the moment, that's where I would really lean. If we wanted to look at just player props, it's something I normally don't bet with the UFC. Significant strikes. What's one thing that we're noticing in common here, guys? Caesars seems to be really off on significant strikes. These are ARBs to bet online. So if I'm looking at the Miles Johns fight today, and let me go back to the martial arts. And let's go to UFC 11. All right, so if I'm looking at Miles Johns and I pull this play up and I want to see on the significant strikes. And it's going to be what? The under on significant strikes? BetOnline is currently taking a max wager of $155. So a big reason here, guys, why I'm not messing around with these player props is because one of the sharpest books out there, in my opinion, they're not taking any money on these bets. They're taking under $200. So while they're good bets to play on Caesars, I don't have a lot of confidence in this at all, right? So just take note of that. But we'll do this once more time. We'll come back over here to take a look at this a little bit later. Miles Johns plus 3.5 now on DraftKings. Looks a little bit better. I like that a little bit more. This just popped up on DK. But what you're noticing here, guys, with point spreads, like this is a common theme. Significant strikes, DVigging to bet online, you see a lot of Caesars value. Point spreads, DVigging to bet online, you see a lot of DraftKings value, or in my case, 4CX, the exchange. A little bit of no vig value too. So there are certain books that kind of pop up more and more when you're DVigging to certain things. No problem, 49ers faithful, man. Hey, listen, man. Your support, that's what you get, man. You want to ask a question, you want to see something, that's what it's all about. So let's come back off this, and we'll jump into a few more lower EV edge plays for college football. Tomorrow's going to be a very big NFL day. We are going to be jumping into a lot of player props. We'll look at main markets. Let's look at, let's say, 3%, and we're DVigging to bookmaker. All right, let's take a peek here. Charlotte plus 27.5 on ESPN bet. Also very good over at FanDuel. Really like this. Now, I will say this, guys. If you've watched any Charlotte football this year, which I've unfortunately had to do, they're trash. They are hot trash. No offense to any Charlotte 49ers alumni in the chat right now or on the stream, but they're just not a good football team. So I could bet this on ESPN bet, or I could go bet this on FanDuel. So again, guys, think of it this way. Pretty good edge. If I drop this off and say I can get this at 116, this is still almost a 5% edge on FanDuel. So I'm more than happy to bet this over at FanDuel because I'm not going to get limited. Look at this. Bookmaker just fell off a friggin' cliff, bro. So this is like a signal that I love to see. And if I'm looking at these different spreads, Bookmaker's taking almost $21,000 on Charlotte plus 27.5. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to try to preserve, though I don't really need to preserve. I did get limited on ESPN bet. So I don't know how much they're going to let me wager, but I know that I can wager more money on FanDuel, and I'm still getting a 5% edge. It's not always the case, guys, where you're going to be able to find plays like this where you have a solid backup option where you can go bet this. But in this case, we do have a solid backup option with FanDuel. And so I'm more than happy to go over to FanDuel and bet this. Now, to be fair, 27.5 is a key number. They have it at 28.5 at minus 105. Honestly, you could probably get away with betting this at minus 28 plus 28.5. Yeah, it's still way off. So I'm okay with betting this over at FanDuel. That's their main line. If it just depends on what you want. And so that's probably what I'm going to do, but you could also bet this at the plus 27.5. So over here, this is the main line play. Well, how much can I wager? $525. And I'm on a very limited FanDuel account here, guys. Now, I know that they're a hot trash, so I'm just going to go in for $200 here, or we'll go 210 to make 200. But, Charlotte could easily lose by like 50. But we'll see how that goes. We'll change this up. If you want to take it at 27.5, that's totally fine by me. I like the little extra insurance because of the extra point. Right now they can lose by 4 touchdowns, and I'm still in good shape. So I got this at minus 105 for a 210 spot. Okay. refresh this once more. Any of these plays that you see on no vig right here with Oregon State, I'd rather have the minus 21.5 than minus 22.5. Also, guys, I would recommend just pulling up Oregon State and saying like, yo, can we find a spread where they're minus 20.5? Again, I'd rather have Oregon State at minus 20.5 than any of these other plays, because if they win by 3 touchdowns, I'm really happy that I didn't take the minus 121.5. So ESPN bet, no vig, Oregon State minus 20.5. We're going to go ahead and log in on ESPN bet, and I don't know how much money they're going to let me wager on this. This is a night game tonight, but we'll see how it goes. Shit. Automatically. Just already picked the wrong one. All right, here we go. And we're looking at the alternates. Oh, they got it here. It's the main spread. How much can I wager? Probably not much. Oh, okay. I can still get down $787. Dude, that's decent, ESPN. 210 spot? Sure. We'll go in for 210 so I can make my $200. Okay, there we're in. Oregon State. Again, guys, when I bet these, I put my money where my mouth is. So I just don't tell you to bet it. Now, eventually I'm going to get limited even worse on ESPN bet. But the beautiful part about this, guys, is this isn't an alternate spread. It's the main spread. You're going to be able to get the most amount of money down over here, right? The most. And so really like that. Okay, Oregon State minus 20.5. Big. I don't do NFL survivors. I've done NFL survivors in the past. I used to really enjoy them, but once I kind of discovered sharp edge betting, I haven't. It's definitely a different mindset, in my opinion, that you need to have with survivor pools, a different strategy that you need to incorporate in terms of thinking about, you know, what team, kind of lining up your teams down the road and projecting what you think is going to happen and who's going to take what. Penn State plus 13.5. If any of my friends are watching the stream back home, most of them are Penn State fans. Indiana has a tendency to like blow the living shit out of teams. Frank Cignetti is from the Pittsburgh area. I don't know if he has, you know, so I know where he's a Yinzer through and through. I'm actually like low key, guys. If I had to pick one college football team that I love Frank Cignetti. Big reason because he's a Yinzer. But I love his quotes. He's so freaking hilarious, man. You get him in front of the mic, man, he is incredible. There was some account on Instagram, dude, mashed up some of his best quotes, and it was fire. So I always lean more Pitt than Penn State, and so by all means, you can bet this. This is a good bet to make in terms from plus EV numbers. And getting a good price. Hard Rock Fanatics. I would imagine, though, that most people on the stream are severely limited on Hard Rock and Fanatics. If you wanted to go after this on no vig at plus 104 odds, still fine to grab that. Plus 102 on DraftKings, though, honestly, is, not really. Plus 104 is almost a 2% edge. So I'd stay away from this on DraftKings. Also, Ballybet, Bet Rivers. It's really just Ballybet. Plus 107. We see this from time to time. Ballybet is giving way better odds than Bet Rivers. San Jose State. Can I bet this on Bet 105? No, I cannot. Wait a minute. I can't. Not at a very good price. So plus 127. Yeah. But if you guys have this, I bet this on no vig for $37. Also at Pinnacle, if you have access to betting this at Pinnacle. It's a bad number, but I do like those odds. UCLA moneyline, Nebraska. UCLA, again, looks like someone just took a bunch of liquidity off of here. This is a ARB to bookmaker. I would grab UCLA moneyline if you can. It's a low hold on no vig, so I'm fine with that. Not bad either over at ESPN Bet. Again, this is moneyline plays, guys. We love those. I'm not going to go back and grab more Oregon State. I'm happy with my minus 20.5, and that's it. Tulsa plus 4.5 on ESPN Bet. As you're starting to see here, guys, devigging to bookmaker, a lot of ESPN Bet value. So we can put together some parlays if you wanted to, some different types of things, right? So what I'm going to do right now at the moment, because someone asked earlier, and I think it's a lot of fun to do, we're going to go over to FanDuel, because FanDuel normally has a ton of opportunities. We're going to put together a long shot lotto. Long shot lotto. Let's kind of walk through my process of how I like to hit up long shot lottos. We'll pull up DraftKings as well to see what's what. I'll do FanDuel or DraftKings. I think playing long shot lottos, guys, gives you an excellent opportunity to, we'll use bookmakers or sharp, to find some opportunities for your account health, to help your account health. So I like going additive. Additive is my number one thing that I always want to make sure I do. If we can find some mainline markets, I'm more interested, but we might not be able to. And we could select all, right? I'm cool with all this. Let's select all. And the day range is for today. Appreciate that, R. Yeah, that's a great point. I'd rather have Penn State at plus 15.5 than plus 13.5 all day long. Irish, yeah, at flip, that's fine. That's more than fine. I don't have a problem with that. Okay, so these are some long shot boys, and for the boys and girls that are watching right now. So we'll kind of cap this. You can give me the thumbs down. You can boo me all you want in the chat. We'll go plus 500 max, and we'll take this to like a plus 150. Okay, this is where I think additive really shines. All right, so Eastern Washington, first half money line, college basketball. The Blue Jackets under 5. What do we have in both of these plays? Insurance. And I understand that nobody likes a push, but it's better than a loss. And so I'm in on that. Plus 3.5 for Wisconsin. This could be some key odds. Remember, guys, these are all long shots. Super long shots, right? But these are all really EV plays. So these are some things I like to think about. This can easily happen in the first half money line. Eastern Washington gets out to a lead. They had the lead at half, but then they lose to Colorado eventually, right? We can have a hockey, while it's a high-scoring game, higher scoring league nowadays, the under 5 could be really, really good. Now, maybe I should focus this on a few things. Maybe I should focus on college football for 1 second, because we want to make sure of college football and college basketball, because that's where bookmaker really shines, is college sports. So we have some different opportunities here. Okay, so this Eastern Washington play, I'm just going to go ahead and type this in. And again, these are going to be plays, guys, that I'm looking to bet like $10 max, maybe $5, $1. Have some fun. Long shot lottos. Looking at the wrong game here. So let's go here. Looking at college hoops. Again, when we open up this play, it's not quite an ARB, but it's pretty dang good. All right, so first half, we're looking at Eastern Washington. There we go. There's the first play. Click the dollar sign. There's play number 1. Wisconsin, plus 3.5 against Washington. This is a low hold to bookmaker, so I like that. Even though Washington's ranked, they are at home. We're looking at the point spread, alternate point spread, and Wisconsin is going to be plus 3.5. All right, there's number 2. Number 3, and normally, guys, my lucky number is 5 for some reason. I've hit a lot of big parlays on 5 legs for some reason, so we're going to cap this bad boy at 5. Pacific. I don't watch a lot of Pacific basketball, I'm not going to lie, on the West Coast. Pacific versus Nevada. Again, first half money lines. If you don't like any of these guys, feel free to pick and choose whatever you prefer when you're looking through this. Oklahoma against Gonzaga. Okay, we can grab this as well. And I'm just literally going down the line and taking the top 5 plays. Now, understand this is super, super long shots, but it's just something fun to grab, especially if, we hit the first couple ones that I add this. Make sure you add Pacific. And then let's look at Jacksonville State and UTEP, the under 39.5. This main line's at 47.5. We're only looking for, a touchdown or 8 points less. Under 39.5 plus 220. Okay, so when we come over here, guys, on this 5-leg parlay, and this is a long shot lotto, look at the odds, though, that we're receiving on FanDuel compared to any other book, right? So a $10 wager is going to pay me out $13,000, right? If you put $1 on this, you're getting paid out $1,300, right? So we'll have some fun with this one. So I'll go over here and I'll put $10 on this. See if we can make $13,000. There we go. $10 pays us out an insane amount of money on a bunch of crazy long shots. We'll see what happens, right? So that's the crazy long shot lotto. Don't know if I could share this with you guys. Let me see if I can share it. Make sure over here, guys, on the parlay tracker, you just put this in, click plus, and there we go. I might be able to share this. Here it is. So if you guys want to tail it on FanDuel, there you go. Should probably start sharing those links a little bit more, to be honest with you guys. That's a fun one. If we click off of this and we take a look, let's go back and let's look at some NHL anytime goal scores. We got some NHL games coming up. My Penguins are starting in about 30 minutes. Owen Tippett. Looks a little off. Wyatt Johnston, a little lower. Brandon Hagel. Let's look at this Brandon Hagel play. So this is like on the cusp here. I wouldn't bet this because it's got to be over plus 200 odds, right? Okay, so I don't really like that. Not in on it. New wall poster Irish. Yeah, we're going to have a new wall poster. That $10 wager that paid us out $13,000. Appreciate FanDuel giving me a retweet yesterday. That was really awesome. Irish, appreciate the comment too as well. Nice to see FanDuel give me a retweet. So I had my 3 seconds of fame in the sports betting Twitter space. I just always love, there's always going to be haters out there, no matter what you do. Austin Matthews, if you can bet this on Circa, do it. Bet it on No Vig. I wouldn't bet this really anywhere else. It's I mean, 115 is okay, but it's not ideal. What else we got here? A little bit too low. I need to start setting this up, by the way. For most of you guys, I would say like 2.5%. That's really my threshold, is what I like to go after. Anything that's above 3, but really 2.5% is really what I like to go after. That won't. This ticket that I hit is on my personal FanDuel account. So that's why I have no problem showcasing this ticket. I have no problem with the ticket number being shown on the slip because that one came from my personal FanDuel account. But yeah, appreciate them giving me a shout. But no, yeah, that account, honestly, guys, like even this FanDuel account that I'm on, it's you would say it's kind of cooked. Like I can only sometimes profit $100, but still that's really good. That's why I love FanDuel so much. Because even like I'm probably on like 10, 15% limits. So to give you guys an example, fun little exercise. If you don't know, you can check this out. So like on the Mavs, right? The Mavs on this point spread. If I type in a large number, you can see that I can wager $1,100. Okay. So if you log out, you can do this to FanDuel. It's just a fun little exercise. If you log out of FanDuel, you could see that they're taking $11,000. So that means I'm on 10% limits. I can bet 10% of the max wager on FanDuel on this account. And that's pretty much as bad as it gets. I don't know if anyone's ever gotten to 1 or 5%. Let me know if you have. So I can bet 10% now limits on this FanDuel account because I cooked them. I cooked them for NHL goal scores. Absolutely murdered them. Yeah, Derek. So I threw it in there. It's in the notes. It's actually in the notes. I responded to you in the comments. But for Dub Club guys, I'll drop this in here now if you guys want to check it out. Obviously, the sale that I was running is now over. The 20% off for the 1 month subscription. But if you guys want to check out Dub Club, plays are already the NHL plays are already posted. Fun fact, there might be a wager on Austin Matthews. Maybe. I don't know. He's really good at scoring goals. So there might be one on Austin Matthews. But I will be dropping NBA player props probably within the next hour or so. I want to wait a little bit until some injury news pops out. The first game's not until 7 o'clock Eastern, so we have some time. But so there we go. There we go. So, guys, that's where we're going to kind of conclude things right now. The reason I'm not jumping into NBA player props is, again, it's just too early in the day for me. And you can have some really crazy swings with closing line value. And I like to wait a little bit later. There is a sweet spot, normally between 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern, for betting NBA player props. So I like to wait a little bit. But if you guys want to check out Dub Club, I appreciate the support. $19.99 a month for you get a 3 free day trial for a 1 month or 3 month, guys. If you sign up for the 1 month or 3 month, you get 3 days for free. That's not going to change. Everyone's going to get a chance to try it out to see for yourself. Or $9.99 a week. If you don't want to spend $20, you can spend $9.99 a week, but the value is really in the $20 a month. I'll be back on tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, doing this whole thing all over again. Do not forget, guys, to please check your middles tool today with college basketball. There's going to be a lot of great opportunities to middle bet, find some awesome, really profitable plays, right? So check that out for college football and college hoops. Otherwise, guys, have a fantastic Saturday, and I'll talk to you guys mañana. Take care.